All right, guys, our guest tonight is one half of The Bad Influence and one of my favorite wrestlers in the industry today, Christopher Daniels. How you doing today, buddy?
It's great to be me, so I'm doing awesome.
It is really, it's great to talk to you, so I can only imagine what it's like to be you. You know what I mean? It's pretty awesome, right?
It is awesome.
You living the life.
It's
I know you're
out.
the in-ring general. How are you in life? You the general of life too?
I'm the general of my house. All the other houses I don't care about. So I keep my own house in ship shop shape.
Oh, that's awesome. Listen. I said it in the intro. You steal the show on TNA every single week. The Bad Influence is my favorite tag team today. One of my favorite tag teams ever, and it's growing exponentially by the day. Just talk about what it's like to be. You're very funny. You're very charismatic, but you're also damn good in the ring. Just talk to me what it's like to try to balance those things out, make a character that people can care about, but still put on great matches.
Well, it all sort of came around when Frankie and I decided to tag together about 2 years ago. We saw the writing on the wall as far as like the tag team division in TNA, like Beer Money had just split up and the Motor City Machine Guns had been injured, and so we figured there wasn't a whole lot of stuff going on with us in terms of the singles rank. So we decided to give being a tag team a shot, and TNA let us do that and got us involved with the whole storyline with AJ Styles. While that was going on, Frankie and I just decided to sort of be ourselves on camera, on microphone, and in the ring. And we're pretty snarky guys backstage. We're always cutting up and goofing off and being ridiculous. And we just sort of put that out there behind or in front of the camera. And we've been fortunate enough where the fans have sort of responded to it and sort of latched onto it. So it's just been a matter really of going out there and in my mind anyway, I go out there and I try to, even if it's just a 30-second promo or a backstage vignette or whatever it is, I try to do something where it catches people's eye or catches their ear or gets them talking. And so hopefully at the end of the night, after 2 hours of Impact Wrestling, one of their high points is, oh, well, Christopher Daniels did this, or Bad Influence did this, or Frankie Kazarian did this. And that's been the goal. We've been trying to, be noticed out of the 2 hour shows. We try to get noticed and be talked about.
BG?
Yeah, Chris, you're talking about getting noticed, and throughout the years, you continue to improve seemingly every single year. It's phenomenal. But you also shifted the direction of your character. Do you find it difficult to continue to find ways to reinvent yourself while also trying to hear the fans like Ring Rust Radio who are just diehard fans of you throughout the years?
Well, the wrestling part of it, not to diminish it, but that's not really the hard part, to be honest. I mean, I've always tried to, in terms of physical action, I've always tried to, keep myself at a certain level, and I've been fortunate enough to work with guys that push me to stay there. But it's been the in-ring stuff that I've been trying to sort of not capitalize on, but I guess just sort of concentrate on a little bit, just because that had always sort of been, I guess, the criticism against me was that I wasn't a character that people could get behind, or whatever the case may be. And so I just went out and decided, the heck with all that. I was just going to go out and have fun. And I've been fortunate enough, like I said, that people have sort of caught on to it and have enjoyed it. And, the more that they enjoy it, or the more that there's a buzz about it, the more I'm going to continue to sort of do that.
Mikey Art?
Yeah, kind of talking about your character still. I mean, you've obviously undergone a lot of transformations over the years, like you said. And, you had a more serious character at certain times, like the Fallen Angel Chris Daniels. And now, with Kazarian, you kind of tap into the comedic side of things a lot more. For you personally, do you have a preference in terms of playing a more serious character or playing the type of character that you do right now?
Well, I don't really feel like I'm doing comedy per se. I mean, I play off of guys a certain way, but I don't really do a lot of comedy in the ring. I'm just being, sort of a smartass, and people are sort of laughing at it, but I hope they're also sort of getting annoyed at it in the sense that they want to see me get my comeuppance in the ring. I'm trying not to be like a Santino character or anything like that, where it's, all comedy all the time, or mostly comedy all the time. But I mean, I'm still trying to be that smart ass wise guy that people want to smack around. So I mean, I'm not really, I don't feel like comedy is really the basis of my character. But I mean, if I have to be, or if I want to be entertaining, especially in things that aren't in-ring related. It's easier to catch people, to get them to enjoy what I'm doing by trying to be entertaining versus trying to be like angry, serious, I'm going to get you guy.
All right. Well, as the resident indie mark over here, and I get yelled at all the time for that. You were always known as the king of the indies. As a Philadelphia kid, I saw you in Ring of Honor many the time. I saw you all over the indie promotions, and you've traveled the world doing this thing. Just talk about the influence indie wrestling had on your career, and how you view the indie wrestling scene now looking back on everything.
Well, working as many different promotions as I did in the past, I felt like it helped me become well-rounded and versatile. Like I wasn't sure who I was going to wrestle at any given moment. And it was always different guys for different places and different promoters. So, I mean, it made me become comfortable with myself to the point where it didn't matter who I wrestled. I knew that I could get a good match and make the promoter happy that he had booked me for that particular spot. And part of that, I guess, is now that I'm with TNA and I'm doing mostly TNA, I've become so comfortable with those guys. But at the same time, they're the best in our company. Those are the guys that are pushing me to stay, in top shape and sort of continue to learn and continue to grow as a wrestler. And I think that's part of the thing about the indies, like being trained on the indies, making you that versatile. It's going to get you prepared to sort of step up and get into like a national spotlight quicker than just sort of, I guess, staying in one place and wrestling the same people over and over and over again.
Mike Chiari.
Yeah, I'll go. Chris, it kind of seems a little bit to us like maybe TNA is in somewhat of a transitional period, and it seemed like when the TNA initially decided to go out on the road with Impact, that the talent and the fans really seemed to embrace that. But now that you're going back to Orlando, at least temporarily, and depending on what you believe, maybe permanently, is there any disappointment on your part or within the locker room that you guys maybe aren't going to be on the road anymore?
No, it's not disappointment. We understand the game. I mean, we gambled and went out on the road, and I think that it was there were positives and negatives to that move. I felt like it definitely freshened up the look of our product, and being in front of new fans every night. I definitely felt the energy when we were going live and doing, traveling around. But at the same time, we have to, do what's best for the company. And if that means going back to a central location and sort of taping certain times and then, getting on the road when we can, then that's what we need to do. I mean, Impact Wrestling is in it for the long haul. They're not looking to sort of flash, be a big, burn out all at once. We're trying to stay in it long term, and these are the decisions that are sort of made above my head in terms of the long term benefit of our company. So I mean, there's not disappointment. It's more of an interest to see where we go from here, and how we're going to be received when we go back to Orlando for the next set of tapings that we do. And see what happens. And it also depends on the product that we put out. I mean, no matter where we are, whether we're in Orlando or where we are on the road, it's the most important part is the storylines and the wrestling. And are we, trying to hook that fan base into continuously coming back and making us, a priority to watch.
BG?
Yeah, Christopher, you're highly regarded as one of the most creative and diverse wrestlers inside and outside the ring, as we've been seeing for the past few years, especially with TNA, and you're improving, time on and with Kazarian. Which area do you prefer to flex your creative muscle, inside the ring or outside the ring?
I don't really have a preference. I mean, like I said, I still like to try and push my boundaries in terms of wrestling in the ring, and we're working. The guys on our company has certainly pushed me to that, because a lot of times I'm working guys that are a lot younger than me, and they push me to sort of stay faster, stay smarter, stay hungry. And then outside the ring, Frankie and I are always looking for ways, like I said earlier, to sort of catch people off guard or to get them talking about what we're doing. And even now that that TNA has started doing the Impact 365 thing, just figuring out ways where we can stand out from the crowd. Instead of just sending in videos of us doing bicep curls at the gym or, ordering a pizza at our local pizza joint, how do we, send out stuff that gets people talking about what we're doing and how different we are from everybody else on the roster?
Okay, well, they're going to yell at me for asking my stupid questions, but it's what I do. I don't care. Listen,
Okay.
I have a thesis. You're involved in the Abyss Joseph Park storyline, and I don't know if they're related. I'm not sure, perfectly honestly. But I also have never seen you in the same room with Curry Man. I'd like to
That's
ask
because
you
he's not
about.
even in the same country as me, so it
Yeah,
would be
I
really
don't. It's
hard.
it's really hard for you guys to get in the same room. I don't. I just want thoughts on maybe if someone was to play that character. Thoughts on and on how that could change their perspective on the wrestling industry, going under the mask and looking at it from a different point of view, maybe.
You'll have to refine that question because I'm not quite sure what you're asking me, Captain.
Okay, well, if somebody were to play that character, I'm not saying it was you. I'm saying maybe if someone has to play that character, obviously. Uh, how did you feel? Did it allow you to open up your the comedic side? Because you were the fallen angel previously, and that really allowed you to become. It was such a fun and inspirational character for all the losers out there, all the chodes as you call us. So we really loved Curry Man. What were your thoughts on playing that character?
It was just different. It was just part of being entertaining. Whether when I was the fallen angel, trying to be entertaining by going out there and wrestling, being the serious wrestler out there to win every match and get all the titles and things like that, or just Curryman being the guy that was out there having fun and bringing smiles to the fans' faces. It didn't matter to me. It was just a matter of getting people's attention and trying to get them involved and get them. What's the word I'm looking for? Sort of invested in the wrestling. So I mean, it didn't matter to me whether it was the serious guy or the comedy guy. If I was getting people involved and invested in watching our wrestling, then it was a win situation for both of us.
And just for the record, per the dirt sheets, there is no connection between Christopher Daniels and the Curry Man. They are completely different people. So just for the record,
Thank you for that.
yeah, no problem. Just clearing the air. Mike Chiari, you're next.
Yeah, Chris, I think one of the big things going on with TNA right now, obviously, at least in terms of the media, is Hulk Hogan, very high-profile free agent right now, and obviously he's huge for TNA's exposure. But there's no doubt that it's going to cost TNA a lot of money if it were to bring him back, if he chooses to come back at all, and if they choose to bring him back. And that money could obviously go towards making improvements in other areas as far as the company is concerned. So for you personally, if you were in a decision-making position with regards to Hogan, would you personally want to see him back, or do you think that TNA might be better off going in a different direction?
Well, I think Hogan, with his name value, certainly brings something to the table at TNA. You just have to, I guess the real question is, how much is it worth and how much do we pay for that? And then when you say there can be improvements made, like how much money do we put towards those improvements and how do you make those improvements? I mean, those are questions that our creative team and our the guys that are running the ship are asking themselves every day. And I think if it was a set plan, I think we would have followed it. But it's something where we have to try different things and do different things. So I mean, they're trying different things and trying to see what sticks and see what profits us best. And if they decide that Hulk is a profitable, not just monetarily, but like investment wise, if it's a profitable move to bring Hulk Hogan back and to keep Hulk Hogan involved with Impact Wrestling, then great. But I mean, that's not, it's something that they're going to decide and is the money worth the investment and vice versa.
BG, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, we have Turning Point coming up. I just want to know what fans should expect from Christopher Daniels at Turning Point and beyond in 2014.
Well, whatever we do, first of all, you have to understand that any show that Bad Influence is on, it becomes 30 to 35% more watchable anyway. So, I mean, no matter what we do, whether we're wrestling in the ring, whether we're talking backstage, they may film us putting on my shoes. I may be tying my laces or zipping up my coat or drinking an appletini. It doesn't matter what I'm going to do. It's going to be, more entertaining than a lot of the other things going on that night. And that's our plan for not just for Turning Point, but for 2014 and until I decide to hang up the boots, just to be the most entertaining part of Impact Wrestling. And Frankie and I have been doing that for the last 2 years, and we're going to keep doing that until further notice.
Hey, you guys steal the show every Thursday night. Every time there's a pay-per-view, we love it. Listen, Christopher Daniels, tell everybody where they can find you, where they can find more of you on the interwebs and anywhere else.
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at FAC Daniels. That stands for Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels. I don't know how many people don't know that, but you'd be surprised. There's a lot. You can see me on ImpactWrestling.com